good morning, good evening, good night, whenever you are watching this video. I'll be starting a new series just for scouting tips. In the tips video I give general tips about what to make, hopefully, the World of Tanks community better at this game. In the scout tips video, the series, I'll be explaining scouting in a much detailed way. In this first video I'll be showing the differences between the two main ways to scout, the passive one and the aggressive one. First we have the passive. What's the passive way to scout? Well, you just sit on a position where you can detect enemy tanks and they cannot detect you. Behind bushes is the usual one, of course, because you can get a lot closer to the enemy without them spotting you. It's obviously good to have good view distance so that you can spot them before they spot you without covering the way. Here we have my brother doing some passive and aggressive scouting. First he moved up the woods and tried to spot the enemy tanks without firing, without revealing his position. Now he was firing at a Hellcat. He shouldn't have done that. It revealed his position because as soon as you fire, the bush that is in front of you or beside you or at your side stops increasing your camouflage, let's say camouflage rating. Here he moves back a little because he was detected. Notice that they can't spot my brother because first he's covered by bushes and he's a light tank, so it has increased camo rating. It's harder for the enemy to spot him. So he's moving up again, trying to spot. Now be careful, try not to take down trees because the enemies can guess the direction in which you are moving, just like that KV-1S right now. Here my brother starts to fire at the side of this KV-1S. Since it has a lot of bushes in the way between him and the KV-1S, he can do that. He won't be spotted because there's this rule. If you are within 5 meters of a bush, just like this one, you are obviously within 5 meters of this bush, and you fire, that extra camouflage that bush gives you is thrown away as soon as you fire because of the muzzle flash and the smoke. If there's a bush more than 15 meters from you, even if you fire, the smoke can't be seen. So he's in the woods, in a forest, so there's this bush, this bush, this bush, and this bush covering his firing position from that KV-1S. So he's pretty safe. But if you only have one bush, imagine that there's only this bush, and you spot a target and you want to fire at it, retreat about 15 meters, and there's a way to know how much 15 meters is. If you can look through the bush like this, it looks transparent. you are within 5 meters. As soon as you can't see that the bush is transparent like these ones, they are 15 or more meters away from you, and that's the safe distance to fire without getting spotted. So you move back, you fire, and you move next to the bush again to keep spotting the enemy. Here he spots the KV-1S again, because the KV-1S doesn't have as much camo rating and is moving. The light tanks maintain their camo rating while moving, so that's a very good advantage. Now he's not passively scouting. Now he's more the aggressive scout, moving and trying to shoot the other tanks while still spotting them. He takes damage from that IS. There's nothing more he can do, so he gets so he gets that KV-1S corpse between him and that IS, now that Hellcat, and moves trying to spot that IS. Now this is aggressive scouting. You try to spot the enemy, keep the enemy busy with you, because you have improved mobility over your allies if you are a light tank. We presume that, if the tank is good enough. And you try to confuse and get around, circle your enemy, so he loses time to try to kill you, while your allies help you killing it. He does the exact same thing with his M7. Well, 59-16 Chinese tank trying to fire at that distance without aiming. No, it's not going to hit. There's not there isn't anything to scout here, so he moves up trying to scout. Here I don't have XVM installed, so I don't know the last enemy position, reported position, but there is a TD that is not spotted. I think it's an SU-100. Yes, it is. So it is up there. So now it's time to lay down some fire. That SU-100 has bigger problems than a Chinese light tank. Now that Tiger P. My brother's objective now is trying to flank that Tiger P and trying to confuse him and play with him. So he focuses on you. That's your point. That's your objective as aggressive scout. The enemy has to focus on you and stop worrying about your teammates, so that your teammates can kill the enemy that you are circling safely. So that was the difference between passive scouting and aggressive scouting. Passive scouting is, in my opinion, it's a bit harder, because you have to have the patience to hold your fire and do not reveal your position. Aggressive scouting can be done with any fast light tank like the 59-16, the light French tanks, the AMXs, and the LC. That's a hit and run. That's a different type of scouting. It's like a TD scouting. I think I'm going to make a video about it, because it's a little bit different on the playstyle. Passive scouting, hold your fire, get to advanced location, try to spot your enemies, and get bushes between you and the enemy. Aggressive scouting, You have to have balls to do that. Go right into the enemy, try to circle around him, try to annoy him like a mosquito so he loses focus in your teammates that should have more firepower than you, so he can focus on you and get killed in a process. So, because that's the point of the game, win every time. So next video will probably be about the LCAMX with his different playstyle, like a very fast TD. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. This was it for this video. I'll see you guys next time.